afternoon, wherever we're joining from. And this is a community session tagged Yes Excel Community. So this is going to be recorded and it will be made available for us for further practice. So I'm sharing my screen as at now, and there is this table, or there is this data set that has been shared with us. So if you open the data set, but you don't need to, my point is copper. So if you open the data set, I save this as copper, and it has 3 worksheets. And the version that I saved it as, if you want to save Excel, or if you want to get this into SQL, you need to do a version called 97 to 2003. It depends though, but it's the easiest. So in case it's looking like this, it's because of the version. So there is a table called customer. I already prepared this small piece of data so that I can make it easier for us. And for some people that asked in one of the classes that how do you import data, so I'll be showing that today. So I impute a range or a worksheet called customer. It has customer ID. So customer ID is like primary key. In case I'm speaking something that is not clear to you, just call my attention to it. But for some of us, we already have an idea of what this is all about. All right. So before we start proper, let me come to my slide. And I'm going to pull this on projection. So what we're looking at today is tagged data querying, manipulation, and database management. It's too much for a day though, but we'll continue from wherever we stop. So what are the main things we want to touch on? Introduction, how to import data into SQL, how to create relationship in SQL. Like relationship will mean that how to connect one table to another. We'll be looking at a keyword called select. If you can see, of course, I'm sure you can see my screen. So I'm moving from intro, import, relationship. There is what we call select, which you get to understand. There is clause, there is aggregation, there is group by, there is order by, there is join. So I'm sure that we can finish this today. But we'll touch on wherever we stop, we continue from next class. Okay. So this is Olajude, and I'm not new to us, so I will just move away from the slide. And okay, I believe we can see my screen and we can hear me. Please, I'll be needing at least one response, so that way I know everyone is fine. Can I proceed, please?
Yes, sir, you can, sir.
Thank you. At the time, I will say you should, with the raise of hand for as many that are following, it is important. This is not Power BI, this is not Microsoft Excel, this is SQL. And a lot of people are always like, that SQL is technical or more advanced. It can be simplified. It's not as technical as you think. So, but one of the things I just want to talk about briefly is to say that just like human being has, there's this human life cycle. So data also has that. So the reason why you are seeing this on my screen as at now is to say that there is this life cycle of data. And what does this really mean? There will be creation. Data has to be created, meaning that data is actually created. So there is creating. And when you create something, let's say you work in a production firm, you want to also store them. So there is storage. So when I'm talking, I'm not going to be as detailed as you think because this is going to take time. So the practical is what will be very detailed. So when you create something or data, you want to store the data. When you store the data, when the need arises for you to use it, you will then pick the data and use the data. So when you pick the data and use the data, Then if at the end of the day, some are not really useful, how will I say it now? They are expiring, something like that. Then you want to put them in archive. So at the end of the day, when you store what you no longer need, there is no need to store what you no longer need that you want to destroy. You want to destroy it, all right? You want to truncate. So I have just briefly talked about what you are seeing on my screen: creating, storing, using, archiving, and destroying. I'll move away. The area of focus for today, these are some of the things we'll be touching. I'll go back a bit. There is using here. If you look at it, there is using after creating, storing, using. So what this one would be, of course, we need to create something though. Then, but the emphasis is on using. Then we'll be able to touch some of this right today. I'm not sure you can touch everything today, but some of this will be touched today. Select, where, in, having, some, average, max, minimum, count, group by, order by, join, and the top end or top something. So now I need everyone to really get this. So when it comes to SQL, there are things you need to understand. So SQL is divided into several portions. There is SSIS, but I'm not going to go into the details. Or there is what we call data query language, DDL. There is what we call data manipulation language. Don't worry, it is just a name or grammar, but leave the grammar. What you are seeing on my screen right now is understanding the basis of select keyword. What does this really mean? It means that if I tell Tolu, let's say Tolu instructs me to go to our office on the second floor, or she say go to second floor, my office, you will see a bag, bring yellow bag. I mean, whatever you picture you are seeing, I'm trying to bring it home to you. So what you are seeing on my screen is, look at these pictures. We have some containers. So we have green, yellow, blue, maybe this is red or so. Then in those containers, right, there are cartons of things in the container. So if you look at the message that I put on the left, go to the store and bring one yellow label carton from the blue storage. That means that do not go to the green storage, don't go to the yellow storage, don't go to the red, go to blue container of storage. When you see that storage, if you open it, this is me breaking that. So if you open the storage, you'll see a lot of cartons. But do not bring any out carton. Bring the one that is yellow labeled. So, but when you get to open the carton, I've moved to the second image. You see all cartons inside that storage. Now, but specifically, you were instructed to bring a yellow labeled carton. So, and if you look at the last image, you can see that this guy is bringing back one yellow label. Please, are you following? Are you
Yes, sir.
following? Does that make sense to you? Okay, good. Now, that's what you have just seen on this picture is select statement. I'm telling you, is go somewhere and go and bring something from somewhere. Like, so that's that. All right. So I would move away. If I need to come back here, I will come back here. So before we proceed, I will escape on this first. Now, because if there is nothing, you can't bring anything. So we need to do something together. This Excel that I opened before, it has three worksheets. There is customer ID, customer name, the country ID. So this customer ID is unique. It's not repeating itself. But it's possible we have two persons bear the same name, all right, but their ID will not be the same. There is also a table called others table, which has other ID being the unique one, but there is customer ID on this table. So which is repeating itself. You can see there is one here, there is another one here. So, I mean, I'm sure most of us, we are not new to this. In case there's anyone that is new to this, let me know. So I will close this one. I just wanted to show that to us. And I will launch something called MS. As I'm typing, I will see it. All right. And I will click on it. When I click, it would open an interface which is SQL Server Management Studio. So that's the meaning of SSMS. So when this open, you will need to supply. We have done some of these things, right? So I'm not going. Today is not to talk about this. Today is to take a step further. So I will click on connect, and it would bring me somewhere. Now I want to create, because before we can use something, that thing has to be created, like we need to have it, right? So I want to create a database. When I create that database, that table that we saw in Excel, I want to import it into the database. Before I proceed, if you are following, just show with the raise of hand. Just to be sure, if you are following, show with the raise of hand. Thank you, Christiana. I'm waiting for all that. Okay, thank you, Gania. Of course, you're always following. So I will take it. Okay, Rose, thank you. So I believe others. Okay, we can lower our ends. Please, someone can help me drop it on WhatsApp that class has started, like has started for the past how many minutes. So, because there are some people that reached out that DM that they need this, and that's the reason why I aligned this. Some people said they were finding it difficult to import, and that's where I want to start from. So I will, if I expand this database, there are other databases. For the sake of this class, we want to create a database. So how do we create a database? Many ways though, but look at what I'm going to do. If you look around, you see that there is something here called new query. So if I click on this new query, something opens up. Like, I will always use layman language so that this can make sense to us. I click on new query, then something like this opens and is blinking. So we want to create a place, a storage, where we will load that table or import that table that I show us in Excel. So how do we create in database? How do we, like in SQL, how do we create database? So I could say create, just like you can see that it's English I just typed, right? Create what? Create database. Now when I type this is a, let me call it a function for now, that will create a database, but you need to give that database a name. So let's say this is community. So community. There will not be a red line again, meaning that this function will create a database that is named community. Is it making sense? Can I proceed? I'll take it as yes, right?
Yes, sir.
So I will then say execute. Rose, your hand is up. Oh, that means I should proceed. So I'll say execute. When I click execute, it's saying that this information that you have just written now, that command was completed successfully. And it's already also showing me the time that it took to, don't worry. And you can see here that query executed successfully. So you'll now be wondering that, but it's blank. yes, it's still blank, right? So let me refresh this. If I open database, remember that we call the database community. If I open these databases, because these databases could have different databases different databases in it. So when I expand, can you see that there is community? So that instruction that I gave has created a database called community. But in this database, so in a database, we can have tables, right? So if I click on plus, I'm very slow. So if you also feel that I'm too fast, what did we do? This database called community was not existing before. So how did I get it? I click on new query, then this was blinking, then I type create database, and the name should be community, and it gave me this. So then I refresh, then I expand by clicking plus in front of database, and it shows. Now I'm trying to expand what is in the database. Right now it will still be empty because it's just to say you have rented an apartment that you want to store logistics, your product. All right. So if I click on table, there won't be anything in the table because there is no table yet in the database, something like that. Okay, so if I want to add a table to this database, okay, in case you are like, what am I trying to do? Let's check this database called copper. If I click on plus and I expand the table in this, I will see some tables. You can see some tables, right? So my point here is that in this community, there is no table there yet. There is no table there yet. So we then want to add, instead of creating manually from using this interface, we already have Excel that we want to import into this. So I will right click on this. When I right click, I will see tags. Then I will see import data. So when I click on import data, an interface, a dialog box will show like a wizard saying that you want to do importation. I said yes. Then I click next. So it's now saying what you want to import into SQL, this database. Where is it coming from? That is the meaning of choose your data source. Can you select the source from? So then I will drop this down. Since this is coming from Excel, I would choose Microsoft Excel. So it's now saying, okay, what you want to bring, point me to it, go and point me, which is browse. So if I browse now, oh, I hope I know where it is right now. Okay, yes. So if I browse, I can see copper. You know, it's called copper, and I save it as 97 2003. So I can click once and say open or double click anyone. So now when I do this, the source is Excel, the address where you can locate it, I've given it, and you are seeing, of course, Excel version this. And you should also use first row as header. That, I opened it in Excel and you saw customer ID and all of that, right? So I will click on next. You will now say this thing that I said I should go and bring, where should I put it? That is the meaning of choose a destination. So because the destination is SQL Server, I will also drop this down and look for SQL Server, Microsoft provided SQL Server. So I will say there's this thing that I want to bring inside there, put it in this place. So when I click this, it's now saying, okay, the name of my server actually is, I would like, anyway, this is the name of my server. Okay, so, and based on my, when I log in or when I launch, I use Windows authentication. So if you use SQL, then you want to take it and supply your password. But for me, I use this. So it's not saying which database do you want it to go to. We created the database called community, right? So if I really don't want to put it in community, I can drop this down and it will show me list of all the existing databases. Can we see? But I want it to go to community. That this table that I want to import, you should take it to a database called community. Then I will say next. So when I say next, it's trying to say maybe you don't need everything. If you don't need everything, you have to write, use option to write SQL to manipulate it. But for now, I need everything. So use this option to copy all right. But this one is to say you can restrict the source. But this is what we need. We want to make a copy of that into this place. So I would say next. So when I say next, so it's giving me this option to say, okay, these are all the things I can find in the place it said I should go to. Then choose one or more tables, meaning that choose what you want. So I need customer, so I can tick. If I need everything, I'll say everything. I need customer, I need order, I need staff. The thing is, this is a copy of this, so I don't need it to be duplicated. I just need one, you get. So when I choose this, I don't want to talk about edit mapping. Don't worry about that. When I choose this, I will then say, these are the ones I want you to let, these are the ones that should follow me, all right? So I'm trying to use a layman language to bring it home to you. Reason why I'm talking the way I talk. So next, hold on. I hope this is simple. I hope so I need that response to say, I hope it's making sense to you. Please let's react. Not just only Ghana. Everyone, if you can't talk, you can drop a message, but let me get our feedback. Gania, is it looking like, I hope it's not, is it easy? That's it.
Yes, I'm following, sir. It's
Good. Okay. So when I click next, then he would say, sorry, is someone trying to say something?
Someone is doing cough cough. I
That's
think
why
I'm not following too well because I don't have the previous so I'm following the class, something like that.
all right. Follow.
Hello, sir.
No problems. So you just follow because we can't be doing installation. We have done that
Yes,
in the
yes, I
previous.
understand. I understand. Yes.
So um but this is recorded. When you have installed, you can always do this. So then this is my point is this dialog box is talking to you. All you need to do is to just follow. All you need here now is to say, I can say finish though, or next, but let me say next for you to see. Normally it is done. It's just saying source location is from this, the provider is Microsoft Excel, destination is this, destination provider. Don't worry about all of this, but it's making a copy. I'll just say finish, right? So when I say finish, it's trying to check if there is any error, it will show me, but it has seen the execution successful. What this means that it has copied the database that and it has calculated, it has evaluated or checked how many rows and all of that. That's why you are seeing all of this. So I can just close. So the table is already here. In case you are wondering what am I trying to say, that table that is called copper in Excel, where is it now? Copper. So where is it? Copper. So this one that I showed earlier is the one that I said should follow me inside SQL. I'm also laughing when I say follow me inside. So if I refresh this and I expand community now, in case you just join, we created, that's why I didn't remove it from here. We created a database called community. Create a database, name it community, and this is it. But because it's empty, we now imported, instead of creating the table here by typing, we have it in Excel. So we now import it into this. So if I expand tables now, I will see those three tables. Can you see? Before we imported, I show you this, there was nothing like DBO simply means database. So there was nothing like this table called customer. So this is how to import data, or one of the ways of importing data or table into a database in SQL, Microsoft SQL. Now, I want to see the content of this table. So how will I do that? Though I could write select statements, but I want to just follow with a layman like a layman. So if I right click on this table called DB customer, I can see show me top 100, 1000 rows. That's mean select, right? Or bring or show. Anyhow, I'm sure you just bring it onto yourself. So if I click on select top 1000 rows, so though it's going to write a query, but it will show me the table here. My point is, if I right click on this, it will show me the table here, and it will also write the code. But can I write the code? Of course, yes. But let's go with this so that even anyone without SQL understanding of writing it would have an idea of what this means. So when I click this, it has written a code and is visualizing the table. Just so you know, so if I wanted to do this without right clicking, I would have written something like this. But by right clicking, uh, Microsoft has made life easy with SQL to say if you right click and say I need so. So this confirms that information that we check in Excel, we can see. If I could scroll down for you to see that, like if you look at the bottom, let me minimize this thing. If you look at this, it's already showing 18 rows. It's in a database called community, and it's coming from this server, don't worry. So this is the table we've loaded. If I want to also check order, for instance, all I need to do is to right click and say show me top 1000, and what you are seeing now is the table for order. This table has order ID, customer ID, order date, staff ID, quantity. If I also want to see staff, of course, you know what to do. I could just right click and say select top 1000. So this is the staff ID to Bella Tom, staff ID to Lupe Jude, staff ID to Kende Dino, Anthony Dan, Chris Morad. Don't worry, I form all these names, so it's not that I'm the one that put the table together. So all right, so you can now see that we have the three tables here. All right, so I really could close this and could close this for now and could close this. All right, so are we following what I just showed? Does it make maybe a bit of sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's very clear.
it does, right? Okay, good, thank you. Now that you understand how to create a database, and if you have tables in Excel, how to import such into database, what do we want to do next? So if I come back to my slide, which is this one, let me put it on projection. If I go back to this place, the first thing we did was to create something. So we created a database. After we've created a database, we now store some things. So when we import those data into that database called community, so it's a form of storing them there. We'll use it soon. So we'll use it soon. All right. So, but before we use it to begin to do all of this, I need to show this to us. This table that we have, have I established relationship? Remember from this slide, I said that we will look at, let me go back to this one, that we will look at intro, right? Intro is just we're done with that. Then we have imported, right? And we need to establish relationship. The reason why we need to establish relationship will be because there is this table. Let me do this one, top 1000. Let me also do this again. Let me also do this again. So you will see that there is this customer ID. There is this customer ID. There is the name of the customer. There is the country ID. So this customer, there is customer ID here, which is a primary key. Primary key simply means that one customer would only have one ID. For instance, matric number, it is assigned to one student. Two students cannot have the same ID. But this customer could actually order many things. Maybe in the morning, that customer, which is, let's say, customer ID 1, all right, order something. You can still come back again and patronize you. So it's repeating itself here. My point is, we need to create relationship. We need to connect these tables together, right? You need to connect them together, because if you don't connect them together, I'm being very slow because of some people that are very new to maybe database and all of that. But take a look first. If you look at customer table, which is this one here, customer Uche Chioma, this is our ID. If this customer buys again, right, this ID will not change here because this is his identity on customer table. But this customer can order. So I'm coming back to order table, can order severally, right? So in order to know the total order, in order to know the total, just take a look first. This is customer, that's Uche, that's Chioma Uche, because this is his ID. In case this is not clear to you, take a look. This is customer ID identifying Uche Chioma. So if I come back here, I'm seeing that ID, meaning that in my head, this is Uche Chioma. So on a particular day, she ordered 10, like there is 10 quantity. On another day, there is 15. So the quantity she ordered is on a table called order. But the customer name is on another table. So if I want to know the total quantity Uche Chioma order, I need to go to this table called order. But I can't go to this table called order if there is no relationship between us. Though there is customer ID as a column on this table. If I go to order, I will also see customer ID. So with the presence of customer ID here and the presence of customer ID here, I need to link the two tables together by connecting the column they have in common. I hope this makes sense to any basic, I'm sure you understand what I mean. Can I proceed, just to be sure? Can I proceed, please?
Yes.
Okay. Please, if whatever I'm saying is not clear, but I feel that I'm breaking it down, simplifying, but if it is still not simplified, let me know. So my point is that we have three tables, right? There is customer table. Let me see. This is, okay, let me also expand staff. There is staff table. Of course, one staff will attend to many customers, you know that, but it's just one staff. So there is staff table, there is customer table, this is order table, and there is customer table. Now, we need to relate the three tables together so that we can easily get something from all the tables, like if I need something. How do we then do that? I always like to close many things so that we're not confused. So how do we do that? I could stay on any of the table. Well, let me stay on order. Okay. Primary key. You seen customer table that customer ID is not repeating itself. And you have seen staff table that staff ID is not repeating itself. But on other table, let me show this again. I just feel that maybe someone, if you look at this other table, you see that other ID is unique, is the primary key here, it's not repeating itself. But customer ID is repeating, like this customer comes back to buy, and a staff could attend to many customers. So you can see two here. This staff attended to one customer called Uche Chioma. This same staff attended to another customer. I don't know this customer, but this is the customer ID. So my point is that one staff could attend to many customers. Many customer or one customer could buy many times, but other is unique. I hope that makes sense to you. So I want to create relationships. How will I do that? If I right click on this order table, I will see design. If I click on design, which I'm about to, something will open up somewhere. So if I say design, then something like this opens. This is where you can actually be adding manually to you can increase the size of the table in a way, but let's just follow. What I'm about to do is to say on other table, this is actually other table, not in the other way you saw it. My point is, if I right click now on this guy and I say show top 1000, it will show you the table, the information, but behind the scene, everything that you saw, we said that there should be a column. Look at column name, data type, and don't allow empty. Anyways, let me come back here so that maybe this can make sense to you. Look at other ID is a column. This is customer ID is another column. This is date is another column. Staff ID quantity is the column. So this is the way it was designed. So this is the design interface. So there is a column called other ID. The data type for it is there. If I drop this down, you see different data type, right? If I scroll up, you see integer. Don't worry about this for now. My point is this is the design interface. So, but since this is the other ID, which is unique, which is primary key, in case you are still not getting it. Look at other ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going in that order. It's not repeating. So since it's not repeating, it is the primary key on this table. So if I come back to design, right, I can say SQL say yes. This column that is called ID, I want you to make it the primary key. So if I right click here, I will see set. In case you are wondering, I stay here in front like this and I right click. I'm laughing, don't mind me, because of the way I said it, trying to bring it home to you. Can you see set primary key, meaning that set as primary key? So if I click on this, then you see that there is something like a key now. There's a key. So that is the icon for primary key. Okay, I hope I'm not too fast. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope others are following. I believe so.
Yes, sir.
So now that I've done this one, though the other tables too, they have their own primary key. Like, but for this one, this is the primary key. Right. So if I go to, let's say it's customer table, I could also go and set the primary key. If I go to staff table, I could also go and set the the primary key there. But what do I do next? I've only put primary key, but I've not established relationship between the two tables. If I right click on the same place, can you see something like relationship? If you look at this one, after this, there is relationship. So if I click on relationship now, it will give me one interface where I can do the relationship. In case you didn't see what I did, I'm still on the design portion or the design interface, and having selected this as or set this as primary key, this column, I'm trying to right click. I could right click anywhere. Don't think it's really that place. If I right click where I am now, I will still see it too, right? So, but I'm right clicking here and I'm saying I want to create relationships. When I click, a dialog box shows. So when this shows, right, I need to click on add so that I can select the tables. When I select the tables, then I'll be able to see the tables and the columns so that I can connect them together. I'm having this feeling that, please, if you are following and if it's simplified. Oh, Lolo, I hope it's making sense. Joan, I hope it's making sense to you. Okay, okay, thank you. And for some people that also just joined, I hope this is making sense to you. So I'll click on add. So when I click on add, it knows that I am standing on, don't mind me, I'll use layman or broken. I'm standing on this table, it knows. So it's not saying, okay, you want to create relationships, right? So there is something it's saying here that editing property of new relationship and blah, blah. What I need to do here is to look at this after general, under general, there is check existing data creation but this is what I need. I want to select tables and columns. so that I can now use column that they have in common to create a relationship. So if I click on this arrow, right, I would see, can you see, foreign key something, but don't worry about all of this. I'll see these ellipses. In case you're wondering how did I get here, when I click on add, this shows up. Then I look for table and column specification. Then I click on the arrow in front, right, and these ellipses or three dots showed up. So when I click now, it will bring me an interface. Now you can see tables and column. So, and primary key table and foreign key table. So all I need to do is to select. If I drop this down, I will see all the other tables. You know, we have three tables. There is customer, there is order, there is staff. So I want to establish relationship between one table to another table. So if I choose customer table, for instance, on customer table, the primary key, I'll drop this down. You know, I've selected the table. So when I select the table, this place here, I'll be able to see the columns on that table. So on this table called customer, that is where my primary key is. So the primary key here is customer ID. When I click, John, please, are you following? I hope this is actually like a layman simplified. So I hope that you are getting this. So if I choose customer ID, I will also come here and pick what they have in common. On this one, you know, we said customer can order many times. So the key is one here, but here it is many times. So if I drop this down, I will choose customer ID, because I'm sure this is clear because I've taken time to explain, but in case it's still not clear, what we are trying to do now is for people that have used Power BI, you know that if you load data, you want to model. How to model is to begin to connect and the column that is common on the fact table to the dimension. So see it like that. That's what we're actually doing. So this is how it is done, or one of the ways it is done here. So having done this, I will then say, okay, right. And I say, I've not clicked on, okay, I'm just waiting for it. So this column does not match the existing primary key unique constraint. Okay, so now what this is saying is this column that I've selected, I've checked the data type. It doesn't seem to make sense. All right. Even if I say, okay, till tomorrow, the column in the table customer does not match the existing primary key on this or a unique constraint. So I don't need any help. So I'm going to cancel and I'll close this. Then let me come to customer and say, let me see your design. So if I come to customer, I can say, oh, you know what I have not done. Because if you have been following, you know I said I'm supposed to go to other table and set the primary key. This is it. You know here, where is the other one? You know, I have set the primary key, but I have not set the primary key for that customer, and I'm calling it up. So Power SQL is not saying what they are trying to do. That thing you have not, anyways. I hope it makes sense. So let me come back here and say, okay, let me cancel this and show you again. I need to also do for tables, for this other table, this that I've done here. So if I come to customer now and I right click on customer, I'll see design. Right. If I click on design, this will show. I will also say this one is I'll set it as primary key, right? If I go to staff, I also need to set it as primary key. So design, then staff ID will be the primary key here. So set as. So now that I've done this, right? If I go back to, let me see. I'll come back. Not yet. So if I come back to, it's just I want you to see everything. Reason why I've not been doing it. So if I come back here and I say, okay, let's now that I've set the constraint, or now that I've established, set the primary key, the constraint, I can then say relationships. So if I go ahead now and click on this and drop this down and say, okay, this is customer table. It could be any of them, but I just want to start with customer. I'm going to the one at the top. and I select customer ID. Remember now I have set it as primary key. Before I didn't set it and I wanted to use it. Reason why I flagged error, it was deliberate. All right. So I will pick customer ID here. If I say okay, there won't be any error this time because I have set it as primary key. I hope that makes sense to you, please. Can I proceed? Okay, let me come and look at our faces. If you are following, show with the raise of hand. Just so you know that this is simplified. Okay, Christina is following, Tosin is following. Chidima, are you following? Okay, good. Good. Okay, let's proceed. In case you just join. Okay, moment, just a moment. So in case you just join, that Excel that I shared has been loaded, right? Because this is SQL, there is no way I can go back on, except I want to delete everything we have done and now start, you get. And reason why I said we should join on time, you get. One of the reasons I said let's join early, because this is not, this is SQL. So you are building database. So say you are building data warehouse, you can't just say you want to crash it and start all over again. So let's proceed. So I would also add, I want to create, right? So I'll click add. Let's click add. So when I click add, I also want to, I've established relationship between order and customer. I want to establish relationship between order and staff. Those are the three tables we have. So I'm going to click on this ellipsis and say this one, by the time I pick something, this will change. This one is not order, it is staff. So this staff, there is a primary key which I have already set. Can you see that the name has changed? So this is staff ID, which is the primary key. I will also pick from this other table and also pick staff ID here. So if I say okay, now I have, there is relationship between orders and customer, there's relationship between staff and this one. So that's all I need. So I can say I'm fine. And if I say I'm fine, if I try to close this, watch, if I go back to...
Hey, I want to ask a question.
You want to ask a question? Just a moment. Go ahead with your question. Go ahead, please.
Okay, the first time you tried to create the relationship,
Yes.
there was a message that he showed you.
Correct.
And then it didn't go through.
Correct.
So what I followed on to was you going to make the tables, the customer table, the order table, and the staff table. You actually try to make them by right clicking on it. You are making them a primary key.
Correct.
Then when you finish making the three tables a primary key,
not actually the table. There is a column on each of the table.
Sorry, on the column. You now went ahead to now do the relationship.
Correct.
And when you started doing the relationship, we didn't have that message, that initial message you had. We didn't have it again. It's by selecting the customer, you select the customer, then the customer ID and the rest of it. And also, you've done that for customer, you've done that for staff now. And I didn't see that message anymore. So what has happened?
Okay, so it was deliberate. I was trying to, though I'm not going to add, but let me just behave as if I want to add, because there is nothing else to add. So I was trying to, you can see this portion show primary key table and foreign key table. So I was trying to add a column from a table called customer, right? And I have not set this column that I call up here. I have not set it as primary key on that customer table. if I have not set, I need to set that column as primary key before I use it. So I didn't set it as primary key. I'm now calling it up. Then now flag error that what you are trying to use, you have not defined. The flag error because it knows SQL saw it that was not a primary key. Let me leave answer the correct.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So now I don't need this because where is it? Order to customer. Oh, which one did I order to? No, not order to order. So it's so delete this one. Good. Because we have 3 tables. Order table is the fact table. So basically there are 3 tables: order, customer, and staff. That's what you are saying. So order is one that is connecting to the other ones. My point is, this is the customer table. We have related it to order. This is the staff table. We have related to that. If you look at this, we have customer, order, and staff. All right. So my point is there is no need to add anything. So now that we have done that, any other question before we now proceed? Let me refresh this. I'm waiting. Any other question before we proceed? Okay, I'll take it as there is no question. So if I expand this and can I proceed? I'm just trying to wait for other people. That's all. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I will take it as you are fine, right? Okay, let's respond because I want to show. Okay, good.
Yes.
So these are the 3 tables. If I click on this plus, you will see keys. Okay, so this is the table. I may expand this table to see the columns. So if I click on this, if I expand, in short, if I click now, I will see all the columns. Can you see all the columns? There is order, there is customer, there is order date, there is staff ID, there is quantity. Actually, those are the things, but let me just collapse this, all right? If I go to keys, I want to check if there is, now you will discover that I click on keys, is not showing, right? Then you will not be wondering that I hope that what I have done the correct thing. Anyways, let me go back and show you this. Set relationships. So normally when you do all of this, you are also supposed to save, but if I click on save, this guy is not allowing me to go. If I click, but my point is, you can see that the relationship is established already, so do not worry. So let me close this. Let me go check customer and let me see if there is any key. It has expanded, you cannot see any key. Let me collapse customer. Let me check this and see there is no key. Let me go to staff. Let me check if there's any key. There is no key. Then where is the relationship? Anyways, we'll come back to that. Now, let's do some things. So if I close this, it's going to say I should save it. I will now say, yes, please to save this. Can you see? Are we following? Okay. Since I just need, okay, I believe that we are following. Saving cancel. Let me refresh. I hope that I have not duplicated it. Just a moment. Okay, you know what? Save. Let's save it for now. Save. Saving is not permanent. Change you have made require the following table to be dropped or recreated. You have either made changes to a table that can't be recreated or prevented from that requires table to be created. Okay, I think, don't worry. I think this is good. Should I save or just go back? Just a moment. Do you want to replace it? Okay, replace it. Let me check something. Okay, good. I think you are fine. Save. Okay. All right. Let's proceed. Because I just want this to be very simple. I don't want to make it complex of back and forth. So please, let's just proceed with this. Any question, please? Any question? Should I proceed? Okay, I'll take it as proceed. Now, let me come back to my slide. Put this on projection. So we want to begin to bring something back, or we want to query those tables. Let's see if it will make sense to you. I already put this image when we started, and I can still talk through it. Go to the store and bring one yellow label carton from the blue storage. These are different storage, but go to a particular place. When you open it, you see everything, but only bring one thing. So this will help us. Now, how to query with select keyword or select statement. If because I'm about to type all of this, but if I say select star simply means all. Star in SQL means all. So I said this means what to bring. What are you bringing back? Bring all the records. So that means select in a layman would be bring all, select all. Because you want to select, there must be something you are going to bring it. So you must say select all records from where? You need to mention the name of the table. The name of the table in this context is orders. My point is, I just put this image, right? So in SQL, this asterisk means entire record. All right. So, all right. So let's come back here and let's begin to write. Let me say new query. Now I click on new query. You know what? Cancel this. Because I don't want to do that layman. I want to write. You need to know how to write. So I will click on new query. If I click on new query, right now I want to actually query a database called community. But if you look at this place, it is master that is there. If I want to make life easy, I could drop down this and actually call the database that I want to query. But if I want to stay on master, I can still say use, but I'll remove it though, just to see. Use what? Use community. Meaning that if I mention that, he knows what to do. I can just say use community. But in order to make it easy, let me call community. So I already call community. So community is there now. So I don't need to say use community because the environment I am or the database I'm standing on is community. So I don't need to use community. But if I'm outside of the community, I want SQL to know the right place to go to. I'll say use the name of the database. Now, I want to select, right? What does that mean? The image I showed earlier is what I want to start with. This one, select something. So if I go here, I would say select. I can type it in lowercase or uppercase. Select. Select is a keyword. Just see it as a function. Select what? So if I say select star, select star means entire record. Now, you know that in community, let me click on plus. I just want to make it as easy as possible. In community, you know that we have a table called customer, another one called order, another one called staff. That's why I will need to say, go to community and select all. From where? So I need to specify where this should go to. So I can say, okay, from, though I can type it on a row, but I want to make it readable. From, then I'll mention the name of the table that I should go and select. So if I say from, I could actually drag the table, but I don't want to. I want to type it so that you see it. From where? From order. As I'm typing, you would also see it. And you can see that it's already saying table in the community called order. It's just I can't talk like human being. There is a table in a database called community called orders. Is that what you want? I say I can pick it. When I pick it, there is no red sign. I can click on execute or click on F5. So if I click on execute, what you are seeing now is every information on that table called order. I said select all records from a table called order.
Hello?
No. Hello. Yeah. Don't know.
Oh, I think there's a problem with his network.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm so sorry. Internet, then I wouldn't know. I just tried to reconnect back. Okay, so can we hear me now? Just to be sure, please.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, we
Thank you so
can.
much. So sorry. So let me
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
I'll share my screen now. Okay, please let us confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can
Yes,
now.
visible.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I will, let me even see. Okay, good. I hope we saw when I did this. In case you didn't see that, I can do that again. Let me do this. Let me just say new query. No, don't save. So new query, and I'll just say select or use community. You know why I'm using this now? Because I'm a master, and I mentioned the other time that I could do that. So select, doesn't matter if it is in uppercase or lowercase, select all record from a table called others. So let's see if truly this would happen. You see, the reason why I use community was it was on master before, but it is to say SQL. You say yes. I'm pointing you to the table that the database that has what I need, and when I do that, of course, community also showed up, and I have what I need. So I will move to the next step. We would, like I said, we can't finish this in a day. So, but in the next, so Joseph, please, we will end the class, let's say in 15 minutes, so that we don't keep everyone in. But just not to worry, I would ensure we schedule another time very soon. I don't want to say it now, but maybe in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So, because it's better we take it a step at a time than to rush it. So, can I proceed now, please? Just to be sure you can still see my screen.
Yes,
please.
yes, you can.
Yes.
Thank you. So I want to query another thing. This is select all. That's why we are seeing entire record. So if I change this to another thing, please, if I say select, for instance, select, if I don't need all the tables, I just need maybe 2 columns. I could say select order. Order is a column. This one, order ID. Select order ID. If I pick it, I can put comma and say select customer ID. Customer ID. The reason why you are still seeing red is you have not told me where I should go and select it. So if I say from, it could be in uppercase or lowercase, from where? From a table called order. From this order. There won't be any red line because it knows. So if I execute this now, let's see what we get. Can you see? I mentioned 2 columns and it returned 2 columns for me. And I believe this is clear. So let me call back this. I want SQL to help me. There is a column called quantity, and I want SQL to help me sum the quantity up. You know, I'm very slow because normally I should be but I'm very slow. I just want you to get it. So I want SQL to help me sum this quantity. Like, I don't want to scroll, but 10 plus 12 plus 25 plus, like, it should help me do that. So how can I do something like that? So if I say select star, it won't make sense because I want the entire record this time. But I don't want the entire, my point is I don't want the entire record. So why should I say select star? Because I want summation. Okay, you know what? Let's start from count. If you look at the rows, it's actually 19. But in reality, you won't be scrolling down. So let's say you should count the transaction. So sorry. Let's say you should count the transaction. So I will say select what? Count. let me put it as select count. Count is a function, or let me put it like a function. Count of what? Count of quantity. It could be count of any of the columns though. Count of quantity. Count is the function. Reason why I open bracket. So there is a column called quantity. So if I type, I can also drag quantity. From where? So my point is, if I open this, I can also drag. This is quantity, so I can actually everything I've been doing, I can actually be dragging it. So if I drag quantity, for instance, to this place, can you see? That is what I'm trying to say. So if I close the bracket, oh, so sorry, Control Z. So if I close the bracket, I'll still see a red line because I have not said from where, from others. This other two, I can drag it. That what you want to bring is from this table. So no red line. What will happen is it will return the count of quantity. So if I invoke this now, let's see what will happen. You know why? I already shows row 1, row 2, row 3 to 19 because it has counted by rows. This time I'm not counting. I want to sum. Then how do you express that kind of summation? So I believe someone can try it. Look at how we express this count. Can someone tell me what to do? You are free to tell me what to do. The basic people, right? The people that are just looking at this, there is a function called sum. So can someone try? Just guide me on what to do. We have like 10 minutes to end the class.
Select select some.
Good.
Select some open bracket quantity from others.
Correct. Quantity from others. So let's see what this will give us. Do we understand? Do not worry to say you want to carry calculator and be doing this one. You don't need it. It has done what we asked it to do. All right. This is the entire thing, but this is what we just issued now. Though, if because there is no name, I could actually use as, but let's take it a step at a time. Because no name column, but I could give it a name before I finish. But for now, let's take it a step at a time. I no longer need these ones. Just I don't need this. Permit me to delete it. If I need it, I can always write it again. I don't want to scroll too much. I want you to see everything I'm trying to do. So what if I want average? Just like you did this one, average is ABG, like this. You also open bracket. That means that if you want average, you can just say select average of so. Good. Now, if I want minimum, min is like MIN. I'm just trying to show this instead of trying to do it. Right? If I say select min of this, from where? From this. If I want maximum, I can say MAX, like this is maximum. Okay. Now, I want to select all record actually, this time, from order. But the way I want it to, let me show you this first so that it can make sense here. Let me copy this and paste it there. Because I'll just modify this. So this table came this way, but I want to select all record and order it, arrange it by quantity. I want to select all records from the table called orders, but there is a function, or there is a keyword. Just see there's a function called order, meaning that arrange it by order by what? Order by quantity. If this doesn't make sense, you don't worry, you can stop me. If I invoke only this, I will get this. But if I add this to what I'm going to do, this is just trying to say that select all record from a table called order. When you are bringing it to show me like this, arrange it by quantity. What this means is that sort, we have ascending. When you are arrange or rearrange or sort means it means you are arranging. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I say you should arrange in smallest to largest, it will go like this. If I say you should arrange from largest to smallest, so the largest will come up. So order by is to say you are arranging. Anyways, let's see what will happen. If I go with this, it will follow smallest to, let's do this first. Let's run this, execute. Now, can you see that it was not showing like before? It's now following smallest to like it's because I said this table, when you want to arrange it, don't follow order ID, follow quantity. So it's giving us the least quantity to the highest quantity. So by default, when you issue this, it will use ascending order. But if I want this to arrange in descending order, then I would not stop here. I will say what you are bringing back, let it be descending order. So this simply means descending. So if I invoke this now or execute this, can you see the biggest is the one that is considered, the largest is the one that is considered. If everything I'm doing is still not clear, just tell me. What I'm trying to do is to touch on all of this because as we proceed in our SQL class, there's a plan, right? But let's ensure everyone understand the basic before we begin to do the advanced one. So when you understand this, it will make more sense. So if I remove DESC, of course, by default, it will arrange in lowest to largest. Now, I want to change the narration. Let me run this back, this one. So, of course, it will arrange normally. I want this time around to select all record, but I want it to consider any quantity that is greater than 15. That any quantity that is greater than 15 is what it should bring back. How will I type that? I could copy this instead of replicating this, but maybe I should leave it for you. But permit me to just copy. Let me copy this. It's fine. Control C. I can delete it though. Control V. Let me reduce this down. So select all records from order. Because there's a condition that says quantity should be greater than that. Anything you are bringing, consider quantity to be greater than 15. So I'll say where quantity, this quantity, I will then put greater than sign, greater than what? 15. If I do this, right? Okay, let me do this first. Please, are we following? Are we following? Just to be sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
following.
I hope it's simple. Like, is it making sense to you?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's select this first and see if we will get error. You know what it has done? We say select all records from order where quantity is greater than. Can you see that it didn't bring anything that, I'm sure you understand why it returned this. So it has gone to consider quantity and use that to filter what it will return. Now, if I want to, let's say I don't need this, you already know what this does, so permit me to delete this. So let's say that I want to change the narrative. Let me still copy this to make life easy. Control C and Control V. So say that this time around, I still want the same thing, but I need you to order it. Can someone finish this line? I want you to order it like largest to smallest. What will I do? What will I write here? If I want you to arrange it, order, I didn't want to mention that.
Order by
Okay.
Order by
I didn't know how
quantity.
that entered my mouth. Order by what? What will I do now?
quantity.
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 Yes. What will I do? I want it to be highest to lowest.
Descend.
ASC.
DESC.
Yes.
Actually,
Descending.
descending.
DESC.
So
Descending.
if I invoke this one, can you see that 30 is starting it? I hope this is making sense. Don't mind me. I normally I will put word to explain what I'm doing, all right, but I'm looking at the time too. I just want also achieve something, so the next class we'll just continue from where we stop. Now, this time around, I want to select let me see. I'm trying to think on what to select because I have not established relationship properly. So I don't want to start confusing you with that. I would have said, okay, go and get something from another table by using join. But let's okay, maybe I should even make that mistake. You see how let's do something, it's fine. So watch this. Or just a moment. Let me go to a table, this one. Okay, good. So let me say new query. So everyone, you just follow, and I will be changing narration here or narrative. Select. Okay, let me just run the last one I copy. Control V. So select this one. Let's see if something will happen here. Okay, good. Now I'll continue from here. So I want to select something from staff, from order, from customer. What will I do? I'm going to say select. I want, in case you do not understand what I mean, if I launch top 10, you'll see customers, right? If I do on staff, top 1000, you'll still see this. So I want to select something that is on another table. Oh, okay. In case you do not understand what I mean, let me do the basic one because looking at time now, I know I've taken. So let me just new query for now. Oh, sorry, I'm not executing. I want new query. Select. Let's say staff ID first. Let's not rush it. Staff ID, comma, quantity. Then from a table called order. So when you do this, I need you to order by staff ID. I'm sure everyone knows what this will give us, right? Let's execute first. I hope you understand. I selected this and I said you should order by staff ID. So you understand, it's following staff ID, not quantity, because it will now go 111 in case this is not clear. I want to believe it is actually, because you have seen the order by we did previously. We were calling quantity, but this time we are saying use order ID. So the reason why this is this. So I will do one more or two more, then we end the class. So let's do this. Select staff ID and also do the sum of what? Sum of quantity. Now, when you do, okay, let me deliberately do this, is fine. From what? From a table called others. Now, if I invoke this, let's see what will happen first. Execute. Because this is not how to do it, right? So I'm saying select staff ID and also select the sum of quantity from this. So staff ID is not, how will I put this way? Anyways, there is an error here. Can you see column staff ID is invalid in selectly because it is not constrained. But don't worry about all of this message. But let me proceed and type group by. You will understand when I do this. Group it. You know what we mean? Arrange or categorize. Group this by. Group by what? Group by staff ID. So that how much how much is the total Ghanaian do? How much is the total Ijoma do? You get the point. That's meaning that this is not complete. It doesn't make sense. So we need to now group it so that the sum you are bringing, you put the total each of the staff did in front of them. That is the meaning of what we are trying to do. So group by what? Staff ID. So if I go ahead and do this, sure, let's see this first. Do we understand? Please, do you understand this?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay, because that's what I'm saying. I can't just do this without saying group it so that you can say, this staff, all your hand is up. This staff, the total it did is this. But this one has no name, and I want it to have name because staff ID is showing. But what is this? This is actually quantity. But when I'm creating this, I only say bring staff ID and do the sum of quantity. So staff ID will come back because it's a column, it's not like sum. But this thing or this one is bringing a sum back, so it has no header. So I can actually say this when you sum quantity, also give it a name. If I say as, alias, but I don't want to say as. When you put a space after this and write whatever you write, it will take it to, and I type one sheet. That means that when you sum this column called quantity, give it a name called quantity. Anyways, let's run this and see if this is actually correct. Do you understand? Please, do we understand?
Yes, sir.
So this space
Yes, sir.
simply means
necessarily have to
alias.
put,
Sorry, take that again.
we don't necessarily have to put as quantity.
No, you don't have to put it. So that space knows what, you know, the space, I didn't put comma, I put space, so meaning
Yes,
that
sir.
the sum of this, if I even call it total sales,
I
it will
think
show total sales here. Go
I
ahead,
think
someone start this.
we saw that in the syntax. The syntax you showed us earlier. We saw it the way it was in the syntax.
So I hope we understand. So I think we should stop here. Let's not, if you leave me, I'll continue to go, but let's stop here. It's better we do it a step at a time so that I can assure us that this has already been prepared to cover like 4 classes. What I have planned in this slide. So let me come back to us. Right. Please do not be bothered about, I'm just trying to ask a question. Does it make sense to you? Did you learn something? Did you so let's get that just to be sure. It's basic, but I know that some of us will still say, but be free to tell us, Ganiat, what do you think? Chidima, what do you think? So let's get your reactions. Lolo, yes, Wale, your hand is still up. Please go ahead.
Okay, I actually wanted to ask a question concerning the order by you did about the quantity, the one you did about quantity. I don't know if you can go back to that page
Yes.
where I think there's a quantity
Let's
the
write
table
it.
you showed us.
I will write
The,
it. It's fine.
yeah, that
Select,
is
select
the other
star.
people.
I will do
Yeah.
it now. Is everything right? Select star from
Um
others. All right? From
others, yes, sir.
others.
Yes, sir. And
Then
then you
other,
said
right?
staff ID. Yeah, he said the staff ID and the sum of quantity. You
Oh,
now say group by. So the first time you did it without the group by, it gave us an error.
okay.
So I'm thinking from the staff ID, if it were to be it was a foreign key on that table. If it were to be a primary key, would that statement go without the group by? With the statement without the group
No,
by, if it was a
no. You know, okay, I think this is it. Oh. This is what you're asking for now. This one.
yeah, that one without the group by, yes.
This one. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, we say select staff ID. Staff ID is to say, for instance, select name. Okay, I think that's very good. Take a look at, where is this other one? Good. Or let me call this guy up. Let me just call this one up. If I say select name, look at name. If I
Okay.
say select name and sum of quantity, it will not make sense because you say sum of quantity. If I sum quantity and you are saying I should select name, I won't be able to put the total for Bella in front of Bella. I won't be able to put total for Lope in
Yeah.
front of Lope. Do you understand?
But
So
my
when you,
question, my
because
question is,
it's
my question
sorry.
if it were to be a primary key which has only one, there's only one there. There's
Oh,
only one.
if that, but you know that, but in reality, you it can't. How will I say it to you? You know that sum is an aggregated function or aggregation function, right? That sums everything. You will need to arrange, or you need to say, but if what you are saying is if staff ID, if
Yeah,
transaction that happened is just one
yeah,
for
it's a
that
primary.
entity, for
Yeah,
another staff is just one, for another
yeah.
one is just one, you will select. And but my point is, the right thing would be that um the right thing would be this, right? Because let me even let's say order. In short, I think I like, don't worry. Let's change the narration here. You know that order ID is the primary key on order table, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's select order ID. Select order ID. And let us run this. Do you understand now? Order ID is still the primary key.
Mm.
Well, let me know if you understand.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying,
Okay,
I'm saying that.
understand. Because you need to, because what this guy is bringing back, if I've not put this guy, this aggregation function, it wouldn't have flagged the error in a way. But I have summed this. If I sum total sales, I need to filter by what did online do in terms of channel. So I can't just say select channel and sum of quantity. I still need to group it by each of the channel. Is it clear to you?
Okay. Yeah, it's very clear now. Very clear.
Okay.
Very clear.
Okay.
And then, is it possible for us to sort by different columns? Because the sorting you did for us, the first sorting you did for us, which was order by,
Yeah.
order by ascending and descending. The first one you did for us was by only quantity. Can we do for quantity and staff ID? Then another column. We make it like three multi-layered sorting.
If you want to do that, you already know that you are going to. So order by will not do the work. Hope you
Okay.
understand. Is to say, for instance, you want to say, help me some salary and order by department. You will follow department first. Maybe account comes first, business intelligence comes first. You now say order by name. So why are you ordering by name again? But you will now use department and now arrange the name of, let's say, accounting. You will do that. Business intelligence people in that place will also follow alphabetical, depending on either descending or ascending. Do you understand what I mean? But just
Yeah.
know that you need more than one order by. But I'm just trying to say, well, if that is required, then you want to do that. Anyways,
I understand, sir. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other reaction or comment? The class is done actually. I just want to know if you pick one or two things. Olajumoke, did you pick anything? Chidina, okay. So I guess I will take it as you are fine. Let me see, are you fine? Vivian, please. Oh, Vivian is a guru, so she will be fine. So,
Not a guru. I'm still learning.
so what did you pick anything today?
Yeah, although I missed the first bit, but well, this like you said, these are they are the basics kind of, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But you
Thank
don't know too much, so I picked a few things as well, so it's good.
All right. So thank you, everyone. I'll stop recording now, and we would once it is available.